children, welcome to our history session. Children, today we will be having our lesson number 7, okay. That is Ashoka, the emperor who gave up the war. Children, you can see these symbols, okay. Can you recognize something from these symbols? Yes, the symbol is of chakra, right. This is the chakra that we see on our national flag. And what is this? This is the symbol of lion that we can see in our currencies and coins. So, from where we got this inspiration, children? We got this inspiration from this lion's capital, okay. This is the lion's capital which is at Sarnath, which was built by our great ruler Ashoka the Great, okay. Children, Ashoka, he was a unique ruler. Why Ashoka was a unique ruler? See children, this is a okay. This is the picture of our great ruler Ashoka, okay. So, he was a unique ruler. Why? Because he was the only ruler who gave up the conquest after winning a war. So, today we will be learning more about our ruler Ashoka who gave up the war. Now children, Ashoka, okay, the name of your lesson is Ashoka, the emperor who gave up the war. First of all, you should know what do you mean by empire. So, empire means a very big kingdom, okay. Empire means a very big kingdom or a group of states together, they are ruled by a single monarch or by a single ruler. Means a group of states that are ruled by a single ruler is called an empire. Now, next one, what do you mean by dynasty? So, dynasty means members of same family become rulers one after another. The family is often called a dynasty. Means children, see, if the same family members they are becoming the ruler one after another, then that family will call it as a dynasty. Now, for example, in this lesson we will see the Mauryas, okay. The Mauryas were a dynasty with 3 important rulers. Means this family of Mauryas, there were 3 important rulers in this family. That were first one Chandragupta Maurya, his son was Bindusara and Bindusara's son was Ashoka, okay. So, Ashoka was the grandson of Chandragupta Maurya and Ashoka's father was Bindusara. So, this lesson is about Ashoka. Now, we will see about Ashoka's empire. So, Ashoka, he was the greatest ruler of ancient India, okay. The empire that Ashoka ruled was founded by his grandfather, means Chandragupta Maurya. So, the empire that Ashoka ruled, it was founded by Chandragupta Maurya more than 2300 years ago, supported by a wise man named Chanakya or Kautilya. You have read about Chanakya in the last lesson also. So, Chandragupta Maurya, he used to take advice from Chanakya. Chanakya, he used to give advices to Chandragupta Maurya, and many of Chanakya's ideas were written down in a book called the Artha Shastra. Artha Shastra is a book which was written by Chanakya. Many of the Chanakya's ideas were written in a book called Artha Shastra. Now we will see about the administration of the empire. There were several cities in the empire that included the capital Patliputra, Taxila and Ujjain. Okay children, as I have told, dynasty, as just now I have told what do you mean by empire. Empire means different states ruled by by one ruler. So, here also several cities, okay, like Patliputra, Taxila, Ujjain, these were the main cities. So, these all cities were ruled by the empire. So, merchants, officials, craftspersons lived in these cities. The capital was Patliputra. As the empire was so large, different parts were ruled differently, okay. The area around Patliputra was under the control of the emperor. Means as Patliputra was the capital, so it was under the control of the emperor. Then to look after other cities, officials were appointed. So, these officials were appointed to collect the taxes from farmers, herders, craftspersons and traders. Spies were kept to watch on these officials. The emperor, he used to supervise them with the help of other senior ministers and family members. So, children, as this ruler, there were many cities under this ruler. So, what this ruler used to do? They used to appoint some officials, okay, to look up, to collect the taxes and to look after some other work of these cities. And again this ruler, they used to keep some spies, okay. Spies means what? Some persons who secretly they will go keep a look on these officials and they will pass the message to the emperor. So, spies were also kept on these officials. The emperor, then this emperor, he used to supervise them with the help of other ministers of his court and plus with his family members. Other areas or provinces were ruled from provincial capital such as Taxila or Ujjain. Royal prince served head of provincial administrative. Now, here the prince was appointed as the head of these areas or province to look after the provincial administration. The Mauryas, they tried to control roads, rivers which were important for transport and to collect the resources that were available. Means what these Mauryas used to do? They used to control the roads, okay. They used to have a control on the rivers. Why? So that they can because these roads, rivers, they were were important for transport, okay, and to collect the resources that were available. These resources were collected as tribute. Now, what do you mean by tribute? Okay, children. So, tribute means things that were given by the people more or less willingly, unlike taxes which were collected on regular basis. See, taxes means every month or regularly we have to pay, that is called taxes, but tribute is different from taxes. Here tribute means the people, it depends upon the people, okay, if they whether they are willing to pay or not to pay. So, more or less it depends upon the willing of the people. So, the things that are given by the people more or less willingly, unlike taxes which were collected on the regular basis. Means this was how the work of the empire used to go on. Means administration of the empire means work of the kingdom or the looking after the work or looking after the financial status. So, in this way they used to manage the administration of the empire, like officials were appointed to collect the taxes, then spies were kept to keep an eye on these officials. Again the prince, okay, the royal prince, he was also, he used to look after the provincial capitals such as Taxila, Ujjain. Then the Mauryas, they tried to control the rivers and roads. Why? So that they can get much resources from these rivers and roads that were available. These resources were collected as the tribute. So, tribute, it means things that were given more or less willingly, unlike taxes which were collected on the regular basis. Now, children, see this map, okay. This is wherever you can see this, all these red color circles, these are the states or cities which were under the control of the empire, okay, Mauryan empire. So, the Mauryan empire showing the principal cities and some of the places where inscriptions were found. So, wherever you can see these red dots, they are the inscriptions were found. Now, you will ask me what is this inscription. So, we will be reading about this inscription later on. Inscriptions means what the text or the messages that Ashoka, he has inscribed on the walls or on the pillars. So, they are found on these cities, okay, in these cities whichever in red mark. And black color dot, you can see these are some important cities. Like Patliputra, it was the capital of this Mauryan empire. Then Ujjain and Taxila. So, Taxila was the gateway to northwest, means they have this Taxila was also under this Mauryan empire and it was a gateway to northwest, okay. And again Ujjain, where is Ujjain children? See here, Ujjain, it lays on the route from north to south India. Okay, it is a route from which goes from north to south. So, these rulers, they have a control on these cities and also roads and rivers of these cities, so that they can get more resources from through this route. Now, we will see why Ashoka, he was called a unique ruler. Okay, Ashoka, a unique ruler. So, Ashoka was the most famous Mauryan ruler. As I have told you, he was the grandson of Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, so first ruler, for the founder of this dynasty was Chandragupta Maurya. Again, second ruler was his son Bindusar, and third one was Ashoka. So, Ashoka was the favorite grandson of Chandragupta Maurya. He was the first ruler who tried to take his message to the people through inscriptions written in Prakrit language. Means he used to write his messages. Okay, he tried to take his messages to the people through the inscriptions that were written in Prakrit language, in the Brahmin script. When Ashoka, after 8 years of becoming a king, means Ashoka after becoming a king, so after 8 years what he did? He fought a war to conquer Kalinga. Means after 8 years of becoming a king, he thought of conquering Kalinga. So, he fought a war. Then what happened? In that war, about 1.5 lakh people were captured and more than 1 lakh of people were killed. So, in that war, he wanted to conquer Kalinga. Kalinga means Orissa. Okay, now we will call it as coastal Orissa. So, he wanted to conquer Kalinga, and for that he had a war with Kalinga, where more than 1 lakh of people were captured and more than 1 lakh of people were killed. So, however, by seeing this, he was so horrified when he saw the violence and bloodshed that he decided not to fight any more wars, children. So, though he won the war, but when he saw so much bloodshed, so many people have died, then it hurted him. Okay, from that time onwards, he decided not to fight any more wars. Then he decided to observe Dhamma and to teach others about it as well. Now, what do you mean by Dhamma? So, Dhamma is a Prakrit word for the Sanskrit word which we called it as Dharma. What is our Dharma? So, in Sanskrit, Dharma, it is the means Dhamma means Dharma. So, he believed that Ashoka, what he believed? He believed that winning people over through Dhamma is much better than conquering them through force. Means he felt that instead of fighting, instead of war, we can win people by Dhamma. He is the only king in the history of the world who gave up conquest after winning a war. Means in our history, he is the first king, or he is the only king who gave up the conquest after winning a war. Though he won the war, but he gave up his conquest, and from that time onwards, he did not fought any war, and he stopped having a war with any of them. So, with any of the ruler. So, this is why Ashoka is called a unique ruler. Again, we will see why Ashoka is called a unique ruler, because he was the most famous Mauryan ruler. He had many wars, okay, number of wars he had, but the last war which he had, it was with Kalinga or the coastal Orissa, where he saw more than lakhs of people have died and more than lakhs of people were captured, and there was the land was full of bloodshed, and from that time onwards he decided that he will not have any war in future, and he believed that winning peoples through Dhamma is much better than conquering them by force. So, he is the only king in the history who gave up the conquest after winning a war. Now, we will see about Dhamma, children. Okay, what is this Ashoka's Dhamma? Ashoka, he was inspired by the teachings of Buddha. Okay. Then he saw that people in the empire, they followed different religions that sometimes led to conflicts. Also, there were quarrels in family and neighbors. So, children, as Ashoka, he was inspired by the teachings of Buddha. He saw that in his kingdom the people used to have conflicts among the family members plus among the neighbors, and that too it was because of their religions. So, Ashoka felt it was his duty to solve these problems. So, he appointed officials as how father solves the problem of his son. In the same way, Ashoka also felt that he should solve the problem of his people. So, he appointed officials known as Dhamma Mahamatta, who went from place to place teaching people about Dhamma. So, what did Ashoka did? He appointed some persons as the officials and he told them to spread the message, to teach the people, okay, from place to place. These officials, they used to go from place to place teaching the people more about Dhamma. Ashoka, he got his messages inscribed on rocks, pillars, instructing his officials to read his message to those who could not read it themselves. Means whatever message he wants to give to the people, he used to inscribe them, okay, on the rocks or on the pillars, and even he used to instruct his officials to read it for the people. And these inscriptions were in Prakrit language, that too in Brahmin script. Again, he also sent his messengers to other countries, okay, to other lands like Syria, Egypt, Greece and Sri Lanka. Sorry, it is Syria. He built roads, dug wells and built rest houses. So, what did Ashoka did to help the people? He built roads, he dug wells for water, and also he built rest houses. He arranged for medical treatment for both human beings and animals. So, this was the work which Ashoka did for its people, for its subjects. Now, what message Ashoka gave? So, Ashoka's message was inscribed on the pillars or rocks, that was, one should be gentle with slaves and servants. Okay, children, the message that Ashoka gave to the people was one should be gentle with slaves and servants. Again, one should respect the elders. We should treat all the creatures with compassion. Compassion means love, okay. Giving gifts to Brahmins and monks. It is both wrong to praise one's own religion or criticize another. Means we should not praise our own religion, neither we should criticize some other's religion. Each one should respect the other's religion. If one praises one's own religion while criticizing another, it means one is actually doing greater harm to one's own religion. Means what Ashoka wanted to spread the message, that if one person is praising his own religion and if he is criticizing the another religion, it means indirectly he is doing harm to his own religion. So, this was the message which Ashoka wanted to give us. Okay. Children, now I will show you a video, okay, of Ashoka. So, watch this video.
It's the 3rd century BC in India, the period of the mighty Mauryan Empire. I am the emperor of emperors, the Samrat Chakravarti, Ashoka the Great. Carrying forward the formidable name of his grandfather, the great King Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka established an imperious and authoritative rule in the country. He conquered vast lands from Himalayas in the north to Mysore in south, and from the massive Hindu Kush mountains to the Brahmaputra river in the east. His military campaigns got him Kabul, Kandahar, Herat, Nepal and Kashmir. Ashoka wanted to annex the powerful kingdom of Kalinga. He led a massive and victorious military campaign to gain access over the sea routes controlled by Kalinga. However, the bloody aftermath of the battle left him shattered and bereaved. What have I done? This is not victory. This is defeat. My injustice has affected so many young children and women. I hereby swear to give up warfare. From that day forth, Ashoka started ruling his kingdom according to his concept of Dhamma, which was based on human values and teachings of the Buddha. Ashoka used his powerful position to spread the message of Buddhism to different parts of the world. He put up numerous pillars and edicts across his kingdom, which were inscribed with words proclaiming the Ashokan ideas of Dhamma. These inscriptions were mostly written in Prakrit language and Brahmi script. However, Greek, Kharoshthi and Aramaic were also used in northwestern part of the kingdom. People were advised to live in peace and harmony, respect all religions, obey elders, treat children kindly, and be truthful and charitable. Ashoka personally visited various Buddhist sites, appointed special officers known as Dhamma Mahamatta, and organized the third Buddhist council in his kingdom. The inscriptions tell us that Ashoka built roads, dug wells, built rest houses for common people. He prohibited animal sacrifice and made arrangements for treating humans and animals. Moreover, he ordered construction of Buddhist monasteries and sent his own son and daughter to Sri Lanka to spread Buddhism. Ashoka ruled one of the largest states during his time and played a crucial role in making Buddhism a world religion. And that's how he completed his journey from an authoritative monarch to a peaceful Buddhist ruler.
So children, hope you have enjoyed this video very much, right? You have enjoyed this video of Ashoka very much. Now we are going to see what is given in this table, children. Okay, in this table a person called Megasthenes, okay, he is describing the emperor of Ashoka and the capital city Patliputra. So, what is describing? Let us read. Megasthenes, he was an ambassador who was sent to the court of Chandragupta by the Greek ruler of West Asia named Seleucus Nicator. Means Seleucus Nicator of West Asia, he has sent Megasthenes as an ambassador to Chandragupta's Maurya's kingdom. So, here Megasthenes is writing, okay, whatever he has observed in the emperor, that he is making an account of all that things. So, Megasthenes wrote an account about what he saw. Here is a part of his description. So, what he wrote, that the occasions on which the emperor appears in the public are celebrated with grand royal processions. He is carried in a golden palanquin. His guards, they ride elephants decorated with gold and silver. Some of the guards carry trees on which live birds, including a flock of trained parrots, circle about the head of the emperor. The king is normally surrounded by armed women. He is afraid that someone may try to kill him. He has special servants to taste the food before he eats. He never sleeps in the same bedroom for 2 nights. Means though he is so rich, but still he is scared. Okay, he is scared that someone might kill him. So, his special servants are appointed to taste the food before he eats, and again he does not sleep in a one room for more than 2 days. And about Patliputra, what he is writing, see children, and about Patliputra, that is modern Patna, he wrote, this is a large and beautiful city. It is surrounded by a massive wall. It has 570 towers and 64 gates. The houses of 2 and 3 stories are built of wood and mud brick. The king's palace is also of wood and decorated with stone carvings. It is surrounded with gardens and enclosures for keeping the birds. Means this is the description you can see about the emperor and the capital city. Now, children will just have a look of the exercise. Okay, complete the sentences. Just take a pencil and write the answers. Officials collected dash. So, what did the officials collected? Officials collected taxes from the area. So, write here taxes. Second one, royal princes often went to provinces as dash. So, royal princes often went to provinces as, where they go? They went to provinces as what? They went to provinces to look after the work. Okay. Then the modern rulers tried to control dash and dash which were important for transport. So, the modern rulers, they tried to control roads and rivers. People in forested regions provided the modern officials with dash. So, they provided with tributes like honey, timber, elephants and wax. Now, state whether true or false. Ujjain was the gateway to the northwest. So, is it correct children? Ujjain was the gateway to northwest? No. The correct answer is Taxila. So, here your answer will be false. Again, Chandragupta's ideas were written down in the Arthashastra. So, do you think this is correct? Chandragupta's ideas were written down in Arthashastra. Whose ideas were written? Yes, the ideas of Chanakya, okay, not Chandragupta. Then, so here again this is false. Kalinga was the ancient name of Bengal. Is it correct? Kalinga, what is the ancient name of Kalinga? It is coastal Orissa, it is not Bengal. So, this one is again wrong. Last one, most Ashokan inscriptions are in Brahmin script. So, is it correct children? Most Ashokan inscriptions are in Brahmin script? Yes, they are in Brahmin script written in Prakrit language. So, first one is false, false, false and last one is true. And here First one, officials collected taxes. Royal princes often went to provinces as governors, you can write, okay, governors or local customs and rules. Often went to provinces as governors, you can write. Then third one, the modern rulers tried to control roads and rivers. And last one, tribute like honey, timber, elephants, etc. So children, over. Now hope you have done this exercise of complete the sentences and true or false. So here your lesson gets over. You have to read this lesson, children, okay. You have go through the textbook, read the lesson, then we will solve the rest of the question answers afterwards, okay. So I will meet you in the next session. Till then, have a good day and thank you. Bye.